Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Lifing Out Loud. I'm Cheryl, and I'm going on to episode 3 of the adventures I've had in my lifetime. So where I left off was that my son had been going to visit his dad in California, and all was going well. So once again, fast forward, my son's around, in his mid-teens, and I decided I'm going to, I was working for a phone company. I was there for like 8 years. I started out in data entry, went to customer service, and then I ended up being a credit and collections, and then ended up being the credit and collections supervisor. So in all, I was there, like I said, about 8 years. There was nowhere else for me to go. They had residential, and then they had business sales. I didn't want to go into business sales. So I decided I was going to go to hair school. I used to like to do hair, and I would do family members' hair, and a couple of the people that I worked with, I liked doing hair. So I signed up, was going to go to hair school. I left the phone company, and I started working at Home Depot. It was closer to home. I got tired of driving all the way downtown and dealing with all the traffic and what have you. I'm just ready for a change. So got signed up for hair school, was waiting for that to start while working at the Home Depot, which I opened that location up. And I had done retail in the past, and I thought, I'll do this. And the manager said, hey, we pay you what you're worth. And I thought, okay, you pay people what they're worth. Well, I've had prior experience. So I went to the manager and asked him about getting a raise. I was just going to be a cashier. That's all I would apply for. I just wanted to be a cashier, but I wanted to get paid more because I had prior experience and I was very good. Not just, I had done seasonal work, and I've worked at the Limited years ago. But anyway, he said, okay, well, let me think about it. He said, give me about 3 days, and I'm going to also talk to the assistant managers about it. Now, this was a brand new Home Depot. It hadn't even opened yet. So 3 days passed, and the manager came back to me, and he said, okay, you know what? We'll give you, $2 raise. And it might have been, at the time, it might have been maybe $12 or something like that. And we'll make you a head cashier. And I said, okay, that'll work. So I did that, became head cashier, worked that for probably maybe 6 months. And then the regular supervisor, what they call the FES, the front end supervisor at the Home Depot, she decided she was going to move. She was going to leave. I think she was just traveling around, opening up new locations and then leaving. So I applied for that position, and I got it. So I ended up being the front end supervisor at the Home Depot, and I had, now mind you, this is a new Home Depot. So I had around 50 cashiers and about 5 lot guys. I had to do all the reviews and the hiring and they call it secret shops and things like that. So anyway, did that for a while, and was running everything was going well. And there was another guy that worked there. He worked in the electrical department, and he told me, he said, why don't you go to nursing school? He's like, he said, my 3 daughters are in nursing school. He said, and the way you run this front end up here, he said, you're very detailed, and I see how well you're doing up here. He said, you should go to nursing school. I thought, I can't go to nursing school. I said, I'm signed up to go to hair school, but I don't think I'll be able to get through nursing school. He said, yeah. He said, I think you'll do great. So I thought about it, and then I went and signed up to go to nursing school. The did all the preliminary testing and things like that. And so I ended up going to nursing school. I worked at the Home Depot probably maybe 2 years. But I ended up going ahead and I started the nursing school, got through that. While in nursing school, I met this guy, one of the ladies that I went to school with. It was her boyfriend's friend. So she thought it would be good for us to meet. Her boyfriend's friend, he was extremely overweight, way more than I typically have ever dealt with. He was around 350 pounds. He wasn't bad looking. He was just overweight. He was clean, clothes were nice, matchy, and just very, very neat and clean person. He seemed to be nice. So I said, I'll give it a try. So we dated while I was in nursing school. Everything went well. Got done with nursing school. Graduated. Went and sat for my NCLEX. Passed that. And everything was okay for a minute. I had, prior to that, I had worked at an agency as an aide. And so now that I'm a nurse, I decided I was going to work as a nurse for this agency. So I worked with one agency, and then I signed up with another agency, and then I worked as needed, PRN. PRN is as needed. Worked at this other place, and I had been there as an aide. And altogether, I'd been there before I wasn't able to be there anymore. Ended up being like 9.5, almost 10 years. But I would go there and work for other people if they need me to work on, a holiday or pick up a shift. And I worked mostly third shift. So I did that and, worked there for a while. And then I would do, say 16 hours at a hospital. I was working there. I was killing it. But the relationship that I had with the guy went okay for a while, and then I think he became really insecure, jealous. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't right. So say for instance, I had this washer and dryer that I had. I lived in a townhouse. It was working perfectly fine, but since I was working so hard, I wanted a front loading washer and dryer. I had the money because I've been working since I've gotten out of school. Wanted to benefit or see the fruits of my labor. I got a washer and dryer. And he asked, why'd you do that? Why'd you go and get a washer and dryer? Why you do that? Because that's what I wanted. My pockets said I could do it, so I did it. Right? I didn't say that, but as time went on, he became more and more, questioning every little thing. And we're going places. You don't have a problem. We're going out of town. And I'm footing the bill. So why are you? Now, mind you, he had some type of job, but that job didn't last very long. And then prior to that, it was my understanding he was a street pharmacist. So I wasn't going to be dealing with anybody like that. I'm not trying to lose my license fooling with nobody. But he never did it that I knew of. I never saw anything or, ins and outs and running around, anything like that. So that wasn't going on on my watch. Not that I knew of anyway. So things got a little bit more intense. At the time though, before I started doing all of that, and I was working, he called and snitched on me. So I'll get with that in a minute.